Hey everyone, welcome to Coffee with Colleen. Here we come, here we are, here we go. So, thank you. Hi, Mariah. Thanks for joining. Yay, welcome to Coffee with Colleen. So, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in, hey, and share my coffee mug with you all. So, I wanted to share, this is one of my favorite coffee mugs. A friend of mine, Lachelle, she got this for me and I just love it. And it says, "Let your light shine." And I just wanted to emphasize that today because I know there's a lot going on. Hi Max. There's a lot, going on. A lot of protesting and writing different things, and, things are changing, and, there's a lot of good with the bad and really good things, but also dangerous sometimes to go out there. Hi. And so, but I want to encourage you all to let your light shine, because no matter who you are, and you have a voice. And that is hey Kelly, hey. And that is why I do this. When I first started doing Coffee with Colleen is because I was what, I love to encourage people, and I'd love to just get on live and see who would want, to be encouraged, or just share something that I have thought of for the week. But as I've been interviewing, being purposeful of having people on live with me. Hi Emily. And so, hey Kate, hey Caitlin. So as I've had people join me, I've realized that the big thing that I'm learning as a person for myself, but also encouraging other people, is that you have a voice, and we're all unique, and we're all valuable. That is something that when I interviewed Corey, my husband, we talked about a lot. You're valuable. We all have value. So I want to encourage you all to let your light shine, okay? Keep that positivity. Remember who you are, whose you are, but just keep shining your light. So that's the mug for there. It's really hot. It's actually, looks like a latte, but it's black tea. So today I'm so excited. Some of you who are on live with me right now know Kelly Easter. We've known each other since, I'll have to check with you, Kelly. I think it was since 2012. No, actually, I think maybe even 2011. But Kelly's amazing, super talented. He has a lot of favor. He's gone from living, from when I know him, in Redding, and then moving to Los Angeles. He has a crazy story. And he's, in the entertainment industry. He's had some cool acting gigs. He has his own music. He just released a single not too long ago. He's also amazing, super, loving and friendly, but cool, and just such a well-rounded person. And Corey and I are so blessed to know you, Kelly, to know him, and to have him as a friend. So Kelly, why don't you join me now? I know it's a little delayed, so we'll see how fast this is, but... So, as I'm waiting for Kelly to join me, I'm going to have a sip of my pretend latte. So if you guys are joining me with a coffee or something, let's just have a moment and enjoy our drink. That's what I'm doing. Yes, he is the best drummer in the world. Yep, he's an amazing drummer. He was a drummer for Bethel Music for many years. I'll have to ask him how long. I'm actually not sure specifics. But, so, and then also, I'm just waiting. I don't have an also. Oh, I will share this with you. Have you ever, I don't typically have food in these meetings, but I was hungry and popcorn sounded good. But I have to say, have you ever ate popcorn with a spoon before? Because that is what I do. Yay, he's going to join us. I love nutritional yeast for my popcorn, and it's super dry, so... Yes. Let's see. Here he comes. Hey. Hey.
Yo.
How are you?
How do I get this thing to work here?
Is it flipping on you, or what is it doing? I see your...
Yeah, it's flipping.
That's so weird. I don't know.
Hold on.
I've never had that. You continue on. I'm trying to figure out, too, I was going to try and do Facebook Live. It'd just be me, but... I think I may have... Let's see. I don't know how to do Facebook Live, people. So I hope you all are... Hi. I hope you all are doing well out there and staying brave and staying safe and everything. And, I'm really excited. And I'm really excited that you guys have joined. There's so many of you right now joining. And I'm also attempting to do Facebook Live. I feel like they made it so complicated on here. Okay. This is funny. Okay, here, take 2 for Kelly. It's showing your screen again. Oh, maybe it'll...
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I see your screen. I don't see you.
Oh, that's so weird.
That is so weird. Is it showing your... I don't know. Are you using your computer or your phone?
My phone. Oh, that's so strange. I can't, all right, I can't see.
Oh, yeah, so you would be talking just to the lens. Is that what you're saying? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's... Hold on 1 second.
Okay, I'll hold on. We say yes to this working.
Let's see. Yeah, this is so janky.
It's so weird. And you have an iPhone? Or, I don't know if that matters, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Hold on, let's try this one more time. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm going to X out here.
Okay. So, as we wait for Kelly to... Hey, Fla. Hey, Kenneth. Hey, Anya. It's fun. Let's see what else we got. I am just going to hang out with you because I didn't plan for anything. So, it's so good to see so many people popping on. I will say, oi to the boom to Flavia. Here comes Kelly again.
Okay, weird.
Is it working now?
Oh, man. I don't know what's going on here, but
Yeah,
I might have to turn...
Because I can see you now, but I don't know if that's...
Oh, you can see me. I can't see myself. Oh, no way.
I can see you, though.
I can't see myself. That's so weird.
That is weird. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's your internet connection or something.
I guess so.
I don't know. That's weird. Hey, Bridget. Hi, Keith. Lots of people are saying hi.
Yo.
Welcome. That's so... Well, now you're frozen. So maybe it's going to show you... I'm just waiting for you to get unfrozen. I'm all... Oh, there you are again. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think so. We'll see.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No, it's totally fine. When my sister was on... Well, you were here when Mindy had technical difficulties, I think. My sister...
Yeah, so it's really strange. It's like the algorithms or the programs, it's kind of glitchy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this doing it live on Instagram, but I'm eventually will probably do something different. I just like it because people can pop on. I guess people can do that with Facebook and other programs, so I'll just have to... I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if it's Instagram or something.
Yeah, okay. I know. Maybe it's like just it working with different phones and things like that. It's having trouble with picking up on different phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah.
At least you can see me.
I can see you. I can see you. It's
cool.
weird because your time is off, though. So when you talk,
it's really delayed, huh?
Before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try one more time, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me get this right for you guys.
One more time.
One more time.
Take 3 or 4. I don't even remember now. We got this. Hi, Vanessa. Hey, Nat. Hello, hello, hello. At some point, we will get this going. So, today, let me just think of what happened today so I can talk your ears off since I have this time to myself. I don't even remember what I did today. That's sad. It's hot in Pasadena. We don't have air conditioning. So even though I put powder on, you can already see sweat forming on my face. But grateful that it's warm. I prefer warm over cold. Interesting story, right? So, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm, just hope that you guys are doing really well. I know I already said this, but some of you just popped on and staying brave and staying safe. And I'll share my mug again because some of you are on now, and I know this will record, but whatever. Do whatever I want. So my mug today is Let Your Light Shine. And so I just want to encourage you guys to let your light shine and also declare that Kelly's light will shine, that his internet or whatever, his phone or my phone or my internet, it will collide and we'll have bright shining lights so that we can share and learn about Kelly and stuff. So, but thanks for joining, and yes and yes. And if you guys have any questions for Kelly, maybe you know a little bit about him or you haven't seen him in a while or something, you can go ahead and type up those questions and I'll keep log of them so we can ask him some questions. So, or if you want to just say something encouraging to him, like please pop on and just write those encouraging things. And let's see who's still on here. Bridget's on here. Caitlin's on here. I Am Rock is on here. Max Frost. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for sticking on with us as we wait for this to work. And if you have any questions for me, you can ask me any questions too. So I, lost for words. All right, perfect timing. Please work. Yes, we say yes, it's gonna work.
Did it work?
It's doing a time thing. I will just believe it's gonna work. I can hear you perfectly, but I do.
Okay.
I see the computer screen, but it's doing something right now. It's trying to fix itself or something. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you, by the way? Are you doing well?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm sorry about this. I don't know what's going on. I'm doing pretty good. Just, all things considered, today's climate, of change. But there's good things on the horizon for sure, and I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that you're staying positive. I really enjoyed the things that you've been posting. Just a lot of being honest, but also I guess honest, I would say truthful, but the same thing, and just open. But
yeah,
even though I can't see you, let's just go ahead and start it. I know, did you pick out a coffee mug? We might do that when I can see you, so I can see you can show the mug. But were you able to find a coffee mug to share?
I have my old classic tiger mug. I wish you guys could see it.
I know. Maybe give it a chance here.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's, being difficult.
Yeah, so weird. It's it doesn't.
We say no to it. I just feel like no more interruptions with the internet. Just hope it just fix itself. So I do want to see your tiger mug. So let's just pause. Well, on that, we'll go back to the mug. Well, actually, why don't you share? I don't know. Let's just go back to the mug because I want you to be able to show it. I'm assuming it'll flip itself around at some point because it seems like it might be frozen, the video part.
Yeah, that's really strange. I don't know what's going on with that, but
yeah. Well, you know what? Let me see. Can you still hear? I can't hear you anymore. Let me click you off, and because I can't hear you. And no, I just removed you, Kelly, right when your face showed up, so it went completely frozen. So go ahead and join again. This is hilarious, yet not hilarious at the same time. Oh my goodness, it's funny. Let's see if I can. Okay. Yes, this will work. I just know it will.
okay.
Okay.
So
There.
yo,
Okay.
we got it.
That was so fun.
Success.
I was like, I'm gonna, click off and you get back on. As soon as I hit like the X button, your face showed up, and I was like, no. But
So you think it was like just like a bad connection from the start, huh?
I think so, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
Oh my god.
I wish I could be like the Nacho Libre guy. Yes, I love technology. It's not as much as you'll say. Always and forever. My soul is like a flying dove flying from the heaven above. Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, let me put my ears in so I can really hear you guys' heartbeats.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is way better. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I'm just grateful.
We rebuked that technological devil.
Yeah, we did. We rebuked it, and it fleed. It went.
You better flay, devil.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's see that mug. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, share the story. Why'd you choose the tiger mug, other than it being awesome?
It's really. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. It's really kind of my go-to mug. So yeah, it just. I just have it every day, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, it's just kind of you have your favorite mug. I have other mugs, but it's just kind of my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I love. It brings me relaxation and calm, and so yeah, pretty simple with that.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
So,
it looks
yeah.
like a good size too. I like when mugs are like really big because you can fit a lot of liquid in it.
It's the perfect size.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's great.
Plus, everybody loves a little cougar cat.
That's so true. Did you see the mug I chose? It's very girly compared to you. Let your light shine.
Wow, very cool. Awesome. Let your light shine. I like that.
Let your light shine, please.
I like that. That we need more of that today.
Yeah,
Amen.
we do. We do.
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome.
Cool.
Well,
awesome.
Cool. So Kelly, how did we meet? I was trying to remember the first time we met, by the way. Was it Papa Shaba?
I feel like it might have been pre-Papa Shaba, but we really got to I guess speak and talk it out on Papa Shaba. Yeah, I would say that was when we got to know each other the most. Yeah.
I was trying to remember because I was thinking about that because I know like I knew you during that time, but I remember like one of my favorite stories that I wanted to share with other people. I'm sure you remember this is when we watched Papa Shaba with Diane Venora and at Matt and Tim's house. Remember that?
Yeah.
And she watched.
Yeah, that was. Oh yeah.
And she just turned to you and she's like, just started like declaring, or like, you need to be an actor. Like, I'll sign you now if you're ready. Like with my agent and all this stuff. It was crazy. And I was like,
I was all embarrassed, man. I was all kinds of. I was embarrassed as all get out, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool though. Was that because I wanted to know, like, for you, for acting, like, I'm going to dive into creativity. So, like, for acting for you, because you've been a drummer for years and a musician, correct? Like,
yeah.
So,
yeah.
What drew you to try out act? Like, when did you decide I'm gonna do some acting? You know.
That was I knew I would do acting eventually because when I was a kid, I would do impersonations, and my mom would wake me up in the middle of the night when she was entertaining her girlfriends. They were having daiquiris, and she would say, "Go do that impersonation of so and so," and I would do it, and her friends would say, "Oh my God!" They would laugh and say, "That boy is going to be an actor someday." You hear me? You know, so people would kind of speak that over me when I was younger and kind of, playful. And, so I figured at some point I would give it a try, but music has just kind of always been my life. I started off traveling with my mom and to revival services, and she was an organist. Yeah, she played for a lot of revival services across the country. And so I just traveled with her, and then she made me jump on drums. And so that kind of was my life for, just since I was probably 6 or 7.
Wow. I actually didn't know that about you. I don't think you may have told me. I think I would remember that. So where? I think I would remember that. So where are you from? I actually realized I don't know where you're from, too. This is, like, terrible.
Yeah.
We've known each other.
That's all good.
Do you know where I'm from?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So where are you from, Kelly?
From the Bay Area. Yeah, I was born out there.
Okay.
I was actually born in Everett, Washington, and lived in Everett, Seattle, Washington for the first 8 years of my life, and then moved to Richmond, California, and was raised there up until I was 19 years old. And just been in Cali ever since.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm from Indiana, so wait.
Indiana.
Gary.
Very cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I like Indiana, but I like California more, So
yeah.
I love my family though. I wish they would all move out here, but I've tried that. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, they're like, nah. Once you born and bred into the farm life, it's hard to give it up, man.
It is very nice. Like I was just in Indiana, and it was super peaceful. Like, and where my both my mom and my sister, where they live, is just really nice. Like my mom lives in like the suburbs, so it's like close to Whole Foods, things that I love. And then Mindy though, and her husband and her family live like out in the middle of nowhere, so they have like 13 plus acres of land, like just quiet, beautiful. We like sit out in their back porch or back balcony and sip on coffee and like listen to the birds. It's just like two different things, but it's nice. It's nice, but I don't know. I like Los Angeles though. So.
Yeah, LA is beautiful. It's just got its beauty, man. It really does. And the people. There's such quality people in Los Angeles. It does make it hard to, if you ever had to leave, that would be probably one of the biggest ones. Some of the most amazing quality people are here.
Yeah.
So you got to be called. If God is calling you to this city, you got to come, man. I mean, I got called out so many times. People are like, "You're supposed to be in LA." I was like, "Nah." I was still in Redding. I was like, "Nah, I ain't going nowhere."
Yep.
And I toured out here for about 7 years, and I made up my mind, so I would never move to Los Angeles. And man, I was probably one of my last years of touring here, and I think I was with Jesus Culture that tour, and Kim Walker after that, and that was just like I got called out and said, "You need to be here. You're going to actually live here soon." And I really had to stop and listen at that point,
Yeah. Yeah, is there any more details about that? Because I was going to have you share about that anyways, because I remember, I remember bits and pieces before you came out, but I actually don't know, like, the struggles you had. Like, should I go, should I not? I know you're going through some hard stuff when you did decide to come here. So anything you want to share, I'd love for you to share, that story. And then if you want to dive in, or I can ask you some questions when you came here, because I know that you went through some struggles. So, yeah.
Yeah. As far as like, where do you want to start? Like before I came here, or just when I got here, or?
I guess, how about we start, because we might have to do a part 2 hangout or something.
Yeah. We'll do a part 2.
We'll do a part 2. Because I know you have, like, so much, like, of a rich story. Like, you can start wherever. If you want to start right before you came out here, and then so you could share, like, what you went through when you're here, or you could do, like, around Sands of Ikra time, you know what I mean? Or you could just start right after that. So, whatever you'd like.
Yeah, okay. So me and Colleen, for all you guys who don't know, we've done a movie together, and it was probably my first movie. Well, I guess technically Papa Shaba. That was it's kind of like a student project,
And then our the Hobbit one, Desolation of Corey or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I remember that recently.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. Yeah. So that was. But I feel like Sands of Ikra was like more of the official. It popped up on SAG as a credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that was like my first, like, I guess, official SAG credited job, or whatever, if you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and Colleen and Corey, we worked on that together. And it was a lot of fun. It was in the middle of me, a lot of other, pieces in life coming together. Mm-hmm. And I was engaged previously to my ex, and around that time during the shoot, I came home one day and she moved all her stuff out. She was gone, and she left. Mm-hmm. And so that was a pretty painful time. But we were right in the middle of shooting Sands of Ikra, and so we had to keep shooting. Yeah. And so I was like, oh snap, how is this gonna work? Like, my fiance just left me, but there's this really awesome movie that we're making in the desert of Las Vegas, where California and Las Vegas meet, and we just kept going for it. I was like, I'm gonna finish up and keep going, and so we powered through and we shot these scenes. It was like beautiful but painful at the same time, because it was like I had to like go back and deal with my pain, in the middle of the night. And I remember after she left, God told me, he said, your time in Reading is done. And I said, well, where would you have me go next, Lord? And I'm just kind of shortening it up for everybody. Mm-hmm. And he told me, I want you to go to the place that scares you the most. Oh, God. And of course, and I said, oh no, Lord, and I knew exactly what it was. It was, moved to LA. Yeah. So that's kind of how I ended up here. A friend who recently passed away, God rest her soul, Colleen Garcia, and she really was influential in getting me out here, because so many times when I had doubt, so many things fell through. To come here, she really was influential in saying, I just feel like God has a place for you in LA. You need to go. So much to where she sent a truck to my apartment to start loading everything up. She's like, a truck will be. She's like, a truck will be at your apartment Thursday, and you're gonna put your stuff on that truck, and we're gonna send it to LA before you even move. And I was just like, so my stuff was technically in LA before I even got there.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. Love her. She also is like such an encourager for Corey and I. Like was so many times she'd randomly call and be like, you got to do this. She's just so powerful. And I know she's still rooting us on. But that's so amazing that she did that for you. Like, cool.
And then she drove me all the way to LA. We packed her little tiny car and we just drove that thing. It was so tiny. I don't even know. It was like literally sardine can, you know. So
Wow.
yeah, we drove that all the way to LA with the basics amenities, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
So,
Okay, so when you came to LA, did you have a specific place to live?
no, I was homeless because I had an apartment with a buddy, and then he called me 8 days before I moved here and said, "Hey, man, we can't do that. That I know I told you you could move in, but we just, you know, I just can't do it, man." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no worries." He's like, "I think you should stay in Reading," and I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks, man." Like, I just left my job and I resigned, and they filled my position with 2 other people, but thanks, man. I think I'll have to figure out a way. So I literally found another apartment, and so yeah, I came down. Me and Colleen drove down to see that. That fell through, and so then I had some friends say, "Hey, Kelly, I think this is a moment to have faith and trust God."
Mm-hmm.
And so they encouraged me, and then I said, "Okay, I'm going to do that. I'll trust you, Lord." And I was just homeless for the first, like, I want to say 5-6 months, just kind of couch hopping and
Mm-hmm.
just doing what I could to stay alive. But every time I decided to go back home, like, you know, I always had the words in my head. Chris Valentin told me something before I left, and he said, "Son, I am going to release you to go," because Chris Valentin was my spiritual dad for the 12 years I was in Reading.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was uneasy about me leaving. And then I said, you know, I just told him, I said, "Hey, listen, it's been 12 years being here in Reading. I've never left home. I've never flown the nest besides touring." And, you know, I said, it's time. He said, "You know what, son, you're right. Every time," he said, "there comes a time in every man's life where he must leave his father's house."
Mm.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty huge. That's pretty amazing. And so he said, "I release you to go." But he said, "The moment that you feel the favor has ran up, don't be afraid to come home, and we will find a place for you here." And so I said, okay. And so every time it got hard, I thought, oh, this is a sign I got to go back. Because a lot of people were coming from Reading that summer, and they all were going back the same summer they came. And it was hard. It messed with your mind because you're like,
Yeah.
am I next? Like,
Yeah.
people were just like, I can't do it anymore. I tap out. And so, yeah, it was nuts, man. But I held, God would, like, every time I decided to go back to Reading, he would do a miracle where that would keep me here. And I was like, wow. Like, it was stuff like my buddy would call me and say, "I got this big audition, and like, this is the role I've been praying for. Would you pray for me?" I said, "I'll do you one more over. I will come to your audition and bring the power of God to your audition, and I will pray outside of your audition." He was like, "No way. That would be amazing. I've never even heard of that." I was like, "I will stand in the gap for you, brother." You know?
Wow.
And so I went to his audition and to pray, and they end up calling me in, like, "Who are you?" And I was like, just the buddy. I'm waiting on him. Nate the co-star, he's in there. And they're just like, no, you got to stand up for me. And Nate's just like, stand up. And I was like, and I stand up, and he's like, "Whoa, you're huge. How tall are you?" I was like 6'7". He's like, "Dude, I got the perfect line." The director runs out,
Wow.
says, "Can you come and read these lines on camera for me?" And I was just like, "No, sir, I don't know much about acting, and I just, like, I haven't done any classes." And he was just like, "I don't care. You just have to give this a shot." And then I was like, Nathan said, "You got to do it, man." And so I ended up doing it, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to audition your buddy. And when I come back out, we're going to bring you in for the camera to read those lines for the camera." And so I just said, okay, cool. Sounds good. And I was shaking, and I was out there trying to pray for him. And then I said, "What am I doing? I can't be praying for him. I got to pray for myself." And because I was holding the paper, and the paper was shaking every time I lifted it up to read it, you know? And so, yeah, it was just crazy. It was just like,
Wow.
you know, but they ended up stopping the cameras in the middle of my audition, and they ended up giving me a speech and saying, "You have everything it takes to be an actor." They said, "Just off your look alone, you're going to go far in this city." you're going to do a lot. And they said if you were to get serious and stay the course, stay this specific course, you'll go far. You'll go very far. And I said, okay, and that was that.
Wow, that's cool. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So is that the audition that you got, or because I know later you ended up doing a commercial with oh my gosh, my mind, I'm seeing him right now, but my mind is blank, like the amazing comedian. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Kevin Hart,
yes.
Will Ferrell.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Kevin Hart. So is that a different audition, or is that? Yeah,
that was different. So this was when I was still like trying to figure out if I should stay in LA. Yeah. This is like in the very beginning. Okay. And God would do stuff like this. He would be like, I'm going home to Reading. And then it was like, you go to audition and you get called into the audition, Mm-hmm. And then like I decided I was going to go home again. And I told my E58 family, if anybody's on watching, I was like, hey, I think this is it. I'm going to go home for real this time. And then God did something like that story got out. And then this acting teacher named Diane Venora gave me a scholarship to her school. And was like, this is my last time of extending my invitation. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do it once and once more only. And this is it. Take it or leave it. So I took it, and I did 1 semester of training at Transformation Artists LA. Mm-hmm. And then I was homeless again. So then I couldn't continue, and I had to keep moving around to survive. She said, once you get on your feet, come back to class. So I got on my feet finally, and everywhere I went, people said, you got to act. And they encouraged me to get an agent. So mm-hmm. I ended up getting an agent, and then we booked the Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart job. That was my first job in LA officially. It's called Get Hard. And then after that, Tosh.0 asked me to come on their TV show and do the same similar character. So I ended up doing the scene for Daniel Tosh in the Tosh.0 show. And, mm-hmm. and then I got a second agent. And so it was pretty wild. Just kept there was like 5 jobs solid back to back, and kept me busy. So
yeah, I love that too, because honestly, like Corey and I, when we first moved here, it is hard when you first get here. You really have to honestly like be called and be reminded. And a lot of times where we felt like, is this even like for us? Should we even be here? We thought of when you were homeless and you stayed. And like, even though like I knew a little bit of like God kept bringing stuff to you to remind you, like, just keep going, going. For us, your story actually encouraged us to keep going, even though we didn't know the full, like literally we'd have moments where like, you know what, but Kelly stick to it. And he's, we just it's going to be hard. Like, just keep sticking through, like genuinely, that definitely like came to our mind a lot, because fortunately, like his uncle lives in, La Crescenta. And so we were able to stay with him for a time, which was crazy. We didn't even think of it when we were looking for a place. But we told him we were going to move to Inglewood, and he's like, no, why don't you just come stay with us? And I'm like, oh, where do you live? And then he's like, this is where I live. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, please. So it's just crazy, but I love how like God just showed up. Like, that's how good he is. I don't even know what your prayers were like, or if you were even asking for him to show up. It's just, he's like, no, you got to be here. He's just like very, very consistent, and that's awesome. So
those were desperate prayers, man. Those were like sitting in the bunk bed of the guest room, just praying desperate prayers, and also those are tough because those are tough times because I was also dealing with the pain of my ex-fiance leaving me. So that, as soon as you have a quiet moment, you're like trying to process the shock and the trauma of that, and like literally 6 weeks from your wedding. And like, so you're just planning everything. You had to stop all the chairs and all the decorating and all the stuff from coming in. And so you're still getting bills coming in from the cable and all, all these things, and that remind you of it. So it was like a tough time. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody to like do a big move like that and process pain, but there was such a grace for it because I did some inner healing before I came out here, and then I had people from my home back up in Reading just encouraging me to call him, like Steve De Silva if he's around, if he's on here. But I was able to call Steve De Silva a few times, and called Debbie Adams, who had she was the author of a book called Living from a Whole Heart. And it was all about living healthy, living out of a healthy heart, like after the trauma, after the pain. And so that was really good to have that while I was here.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Well, with that, do you have anything that you want to say to anyone with what you went through, like any encouragement or wisdom that you learned through all that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just, stay the course. If God is calling you to something, and I know it's hard, it's super difficult. I didn't even know how I was going to put this music out like recently and how I was going to get all done because it had been like 7 years or more, actually, almost 8 years since I had put anything out. And it just seemed difficult with all the crazy hoops that you have to go through now just to put one single out. And but God told me to do it, and he just said, trust him, and we got it out, and it's doing well, and it's opening doors for me to write with other producers and other artists now. And so, yeah, I would say if God is calling you to do something, trust in him and stay the course. Even though it gets hard, man, I mean, down to your last cent, down to your last place to stay. I remember there's spots where they're like, hey, man, sorry, we got to kick you out tonight, bro. You're like, oh, shoot. And I was just grateful for them to let me stay. And so I didn't beg or plead. I just said, all right, man, I appreciate, everything you've done. And I just had to grab my bags and literally make phone calls and just figure out where I could go next. So, but God was with me in those moments. Sometimes you feel like, how could you let it get to this, God? How could you let this happen?
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Totally.
Like they say, pressure makes diamonds, and so there's all this wisdom you get from it. There's all this strength you get from it, later in life. You're like, I remember when, and so yeah.
That's good. That's something that encourages me, all that you just said, honestly, because there's a couple things that I'm working, because I, want to do acting really bad, and have an agent. I got an agent, but I haven't gotten anything with him, and I know
What's up, Rochelle?
Oh, hey, Rochelle.
Rochelle.
But I haven't.
Thomas Griffin. Sorry,
no,
Thomas Griffin.
I don't even know who's saying hi. Oh, so cool. Hi, Rochelle. So I've been feeling kind of like, God, why aren't things happening? And he's given me a couple things, like do these things and you'll see some things falling through that I've been working on. So that encourages me there. But also like you saying what you've learned through this process of like, you've grown a lot, like putting pressure to a diamond. That's how you make a diamond. I recently was like, man, Lord, why can't we just like get there like this? Like, why do we have to like walk through mud and like grow and all these things? Like, why can't you just, get us there? Like, you are the God of miracles, so I'm like, why can't it be like that? And then he showed me working out, and he said, why would I give you 100-pound dumbbells if you can only lift like 10 pounds?
Exactly.
Like, that would break your arms. Like, you wouldn't be able to do it. It's like, I need, as you are working and not striving, but like working consistently and building your muscle, I can give you more. I can give you more. I can give you more. So that, I totally like feel that. And like, to encourage you, Kelly, I don't know like if you have been auditioning lately, but I think I may have said this to you before, but just the last story you told me about, I know sometimes auditioning is hard where you get to like almost the last bit and you're not getting it. And but I just want to encourage you again, as I did before, like, just keep going, because those are the stories we hear all the time. And I've talked to casting directors, I know you probably have too, but like the point is they like you and they just haven't found the right fit, which is annoying. but God knows the perfect TV show for you or the perfect movie, you know?
Yeah.
And I know, like, so just I want to encourage you with that. Like, and I just so, like, believe in you and so, like, so much. You have so much, not only favor with man, but, like, I just know that God's favor on you is, like, thick and so beautiful. And it's just, he's created a good man. And I feel like you have been created for some, like, really important things. So I just wanted to say that to you. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, and I wanted to also, like, open up. I was gonna ask you another question, but I'm trying to think with time if we want to go there. I mean, we can. Time is unlimited for us, but I also want to. But I wanted to let you share anything on your heart about, like, what's going on and with all, you know, the protests and all the. If you feel like you want to share anything, like, just. Because for me, as like when I've seen your life, I don't know every detail like the closest friends of yours or your family has known. But I see you as such a powerful person. Like I just see you as like super powerful, and you've had a lot of favor, and and I know like so I just wanted to hear from you, like any encouragement you want to share in that area, or anything that you've had on your heart. Or anything you want to release or pray, just anything if you feel like you want to share.
Well, first, welcome to the recent people who just joined.
Yeah.
Stephen Edwards, how you doing, buddy? So good to see you. And all my friends and family on the stream today. I know it's a hard time for a lot of us, especially Black people. It's been a very difficult time for me because my journey into going to school up north in Reading wasn't an easy one. It came with sacrifices, and part of those sacrifices was I had to battle a great deal of racism because it was still the early 2000s in those days. I think I got there about 2003. And I actually had to deal with the KKK. I didn't even think they existed still, but their headquarters is where I used to work. Oh, so whenever I would deliver, I had people say, "Hey, just want to let you know you might not want to hang around here too long." Yeah, there's some pretty bad people around the corner, you know. So I was just like, "Oh wow," you know. But then when I started having the most intense encounters where people told me my kind didn't belong around here, or they shouted out slanders of, you know, people yelling at me to go back to my homeland. And yeah, it was tough, man. It was hard, man. I had people who were friends who turned on me, you know, and ended up being racist and called me slurs and in front of other friends. And so I had moments where I had to like stand up for myself. But then there was moments where this would happen. I'll be in the back of church. I'll be volunteering, ushering. And then a man comes out of nowhere, singles me out and says, "Hey, can I talk to you, brother, real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he just starts tearing up and he says, "I have to tell you something. I was taught to hate your people." He said he was taught to hate my people. Mm-hmm. And he says, but being at this conference, you standing at the door greeting me, and he said, the love in your eyes. He said he was taught to not even think of Black people as people, like as animals or something, you know? And he said when he saw the love of God in my eyes, and as I greeted him every day with love, he broke. And he said the love of God broke him. And I didn't do anything, you know, but God was, I guess, using me to heal this person of their hatred towards Black people. And so he began to cry, and he started weeping tremendously, saying, "Will you forgive me? Will you forgive me?" And I said, "Yes, it's okay." And I held him on my shoulder, and everybody starts turning around, and this is the middle of a service at Bethel Church. The middle of a service, and people start crying. And
Wow.
whoa, this is crazy. And I'm like, I have no idea what's happening.
Wow.
From that moment, I had to make a choice and say, do I stay in this place that I don't really know very well, and I'm experiencing extreme racism, or do I go back home where I know I am loved and accepted? And something told me to stay the course, because God is about to do something powerful there. And little did I know that I would experience family beyond blood, beyond the color of my skin. Little did I know I would experience that. And I still have those friendships to this day. I still have those people who parented me and loved me. From some of them were Native American, some of them were white, some of them were, Latino. And the people I call brothers and sisters still to this day. And so my quarrel, I think, is not against white people, but I would like to say it would be more against the injustice and the inequality and the hatred towards another person. That's what I feel like I have to take a stand against.
Yeah.
And I think it hit me so hard seeing George Floyd, seeing his life being drained out of him that way. It hit me so hard, I just literally wept. I just cried. And I think it was just one time too many. I thought we were past a certain point. And truthfully, racism never went away. It just is being televised. And now, being in a quarantine, we were all able to see as a collective, as a nation, we were all able to see. And I feel like now we get to the truth, the heart of things, the heart of the matter. And it's really that all mankind, all humankind deserve to be treated, have equal rights as the next. Whether you're white, black, Asian, or, whatever it is, whatever ethnicity or whatever color or creed you are, all humankind deserves the same treatment.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at. I something has awakened in me, and I'm saying taking a stand against injustice. It can no longer go on.
Yeah.
Especially from people whose badges, they wear these badges that say to protect and to serve. And I think about that. I'm like, wow, to protect and to serve. And so technically they're public servants and they're supposed to serve the community. And, but there's been so much heartache and pain through that, because there's been these misunderstandings of how you're supposed to use your badge and your power. And some have used their badge for evil. And there's many who have used it as a collective for good. I have friends that are cops. I had an uncle who was a cop. It's like, and I'm sure many of us know at least one person who's a cop. And they're amazing people. It's not against cops either. It's just against the injustice. And that's where I'm at, is like, I feel like we have to take a stand against that. That can no longer go on. It's gone on for far too long. We buried our head in the sand, So no, I don't really condone the riots, but as Dr. Martin Luther King once famously quoted, riots is the voice of the unheard. And because these voices have been unheard for so long, now we have to deal with the consequences of pain. People say, well, don't destroy the community. And I agree. But at the same time, I can't tell this person how to feel when they've experienced loved ones. I had somebody at the grocery store tell me how they do love cops, but they told me their personal story when the cops showed up on their doorstep and arrested 3 of their best friends for no reason. Just because they might have looked at like somebody or a gangbanger, and they just had a prejudice against a certain look. And so everybody's got these painful stories of how family and friends were treated unfairly. So I think we have to stand up against this injustice. against a certain race or certain look or a creed, and we have to do things by the book. And for me, that takes new policies, that takes new laws, and that's what I want to fight for. I love the protest. The protest is a great start, but I think after this, I want to see some new policies in place, because already we've seen a lot of cops kind of start to come out and say, well, I actually know a few cops like that, you know, on our force. And so now you see different states starting to clean house, but I feel like this should have been done a long time ago. So yeah, it's really an opportunity for everyone to join together, to be unified and standing and looking in the face of evil and hatred and saying, I won't stand for you anymore, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It sounds like, and something that it sounds like you're just hatred and evil, like, needs to stop. And
yeah.
And I mean, because for me, like, I don't, like, hearing that, your story, like, I didn't know that about your life, which, like, you carry yourself super well, and, you know, so it's like, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was just, Oh, no, I was just listening.
No, yeah, so for me, like, you know, I shared the dream that I had about God showing, like, justice, like, letting him have justice. So for me, I, like, the writing, I love what you're saying. Like, I don't like controlling people. So when you said just now about how, like, you can't tell them how to express how they feel, like, I agree with that. It's interesting. It's hard too, because some of the writing is killing people, you know, and destroying businesses and, you know, that sort of thing. So it's like, it's just like, for me, I'm like, that must just be the surface issue. Like, it's like a, you know, I'm not saying these people are kids, but as a child, if you're like being controlled and contained, they usually lash out and throw fits because they're not feeling like they have a choice to speak, you know. And that, I'm not saying they're like children, I'm just saying, like, it's a human, just they're growing and learning how to, you know what I mean? So I love that, what you're saying, because I think that we should have freedom to express, you know, how I feel. And it's unfortunate that some of that is hurting other people, you know. And it's kind of like two wrongs don't make a right kind of thing is what I'm struggling with. But also, so what I was going to say with that is, like, for me, I'm just, like, been praying against the spirit side of it, like, because I know the enemy is the one who put those lies in those parents, like, oh, that person's evil because they did this, you know. And so for me, because I've just, like, been praying for God to break, you know, the deception of, like, hatred, and that's the people who are victimizing and hurting people, and you know what I mean. And so that's kind of been my, like, safe place in a way. But I feel like, because for me, I want to get that root up. I want to see the change that you want to see. I'm like, it's time to get those things. Like, the enemy wants to divide us and control us. And so it's telling me we only have 2 minutes remaining. So I guess we can only do 2 hours. But anyways, so tell me what you think. Yeah, maybe we'll do part 2, but tell me.
I think it's going to come in steps. It's going to come in waves. I think it came in anger and rage, and then the last couple of days it's been all peaceful, what it was intended to be, from what I understand. The original protests were intended to be peaceful, but there was people who piggybacked who were more angry, and then there was also, kind of anti-fascist groups involved and setting out, there's also people setting out bricks at random protest sites. So we see that there is some sort of anger and hatred thing, and then people trying to fuel war. So it's a combination of a few different things. But I think once the dust settles, a lot of people want to see healing and freedom. And so what you're seeing now is officers linking arms with people in the protesters in the streets and marching with them, because this is what it was intended to be. And I believe God's going to get the victory out of this. And now you're seeing, I even saw churches coming out and joining in the protests, and they were singing "We Shall Overcome" in front of the police department. So you're starting to see these elements of healing. And it starts with the reconciliation and the healing. And then from there, I believe will come the reform. policy reform. That needs to be in place. Like, we need to be doing constant checks on these officers, because a lot of them clean up their social media, they clean up their background to get into the police force, but they don't really check on them after that. Mm-hmm. Like, how's your mental health? Are you good enough to hit the streets today? And do you have any racial bias, or do you really check